Okay, am I audible over here? Yes, over the web. Wonderful. Right. So today will be last class on PowerShell. Okay, with whatever we are going to learn today, we are going to apply those skills on PowerShell DSC from tomorrow. Yesterday we were quite rude on how to use it. Today let us be procedural on whatever we have learned. So first, what are the three steps? First, get the command. Next, help, and next, filter or basically format the output in whatever way which you are looking at. Right? And then we have discussed about piping. And in the piping, I said that in Linux, text is transferred from one command to other command, whereas in PowerShell, object. So let us first start with an understanding of what is that object. What is an object, right? So I think I've started this already, this debate. What is an object? And we had came to a conclusion that everything is an object, right? An object has basically what it has or what it can, capabilities and contents, right? For example, if I'm telling as a television, capabilities is display video, contents are probably the monitor, the switches which you see on that stuff. So whenever you query anything in PowerShell, the stuff which you get is object, and object will have capabilities and contents. Generally, the contents of it are of two categories. You can set the contents or you can see the contents. Okay. For example, TV volume, right? Can we change the volume? Yes. So volume is the content of it, right? We can change it. Okay. Can I change the monitor? No. That's the whole point. So there are certain properties where you can change it, and there are certain properties which you cannot change it. So basically, these contents which you cannot change are called as read-only properties. Are called as read-only properties, and there are certain properties which you can change. And apart from that, there are certain capabilities. There are certain capabilities, right? Now, let me go to the PowerShell and do the same approach. Get, okay, service colon get member. I'm getting all of this. Are you seeing something like this? You have properties, methods. Forget about events. Events is not required for our context, way beyond what we are going to discuss. All right. So basically, whenever you see anything, you will have this, right? To have the better view, I can say okay, let me do this. I want to know about get member function. How can I do that? Hey, get help get member. Okay. And are you seeing something like member type over there? Right? So get member hyphen member type, and I'm interested only in properties. Generally, you don't do methods. In 90% of the cases, you will not touch the methods. Okay. But if you want, you can get this. And whenever you are seeing only get, okay, whenever you are seeing only get, that is a read only property. You cannot change it. You can just get the value of it. You can get the value of it. But whenever you are seeing something called a set there, that becomes a property where you can change the values also. That is mostly the .NET's terminology. But we need not worry about it. You don't need to know anything about .NET. Okay. So if you are seeing in the properties only get, that is a read only property. And ఆ వాల్యూని మనం చూడగలం కానీ ఏమి చేయలేం. Right? So that's the very important objective of it. Right? So now get process, and I'm interested only in members. So how will I do that? Get member hyphen member type properties. So we'll have many properties. So what I'll do is colon more. Simple. Yeah, because this will define what you're trying to do. This will define what you're trying to do, right? So basically, yeah, man, this resolution has been a problem from ages. Okay, so these are all the property names, right? Anything which you do, if you get this, can you basically identify what can be done, right? Okay, so I want to know all the processes. So easy command is get. This will give me all, right? And whenever I do this, get process, what are the things which I am saying? Handles. There is something called as npm, pm, ws, vm, cpu, id, and process name. So are these the only properties? No. If properties are no, there can be more properties. But what has to be displayed is already set by Microsoft by default. If you want, you can add some more things to it. So let us assume that I am interested only in displaying process names. What is it I want? Process names. So let us see if I can do anything over here. So get process will give me everything. And what is it I want? Select. Okay, let me do more also. What is it you are seeing now? Only process name, not the other thing. Generally, whenever you do get process, you will get lot of stuff. But if you don't want everything and you are interested only in certain properties, you can use process name. So let us assume that what are the different things which I can put. For this, you need to always query this. You need to always query this by saying get process, and now you need to get the members, and you are interested in member type, which is properties. Since there are many properties in this case, I'm using more. So now, shall I do one thing? Shall I display process ID and name? I want to display just process ID and name. Okay, how can I do that? So get, sorry, get process. Use tabs a lot. Okay, మీరు కొంత రాసి start using tabs, so it would start helping you. All right, get process, select ID, comma name. Since there will be more, I'm using this. Okay, why it is formatted to the other side, that's a different story. But are we getting only the two properties which you are interested in it? Yes. So the view is not just what you are seeing, you can change that view also, right? So whenever you want anything customly displayed, what will you use? Select. What will you use? Select. All right, now I want to use this get process. Okay, select first five. Oh, oh man, sorry, I would have forgot the syntax. Select. I'm sorry, don't try to even remember it. I have cheat sheet at my desktop and I'll try to do that. Select first in. Oops. There is a whole lot of help. Yeah, how to use this. So let me use this. Select. Why is it getting like this? Don't know, right? I'll come back to that. Select. What is it you have said? Select. Let us just look at this query. Get process. Select star. Show me everything. and I want to show everything of one record. If I don't want that, I can say select. Are you getting the point? Since I have said many, right? So it was displaying everything in the format of something called as list. All right. First, if you have to do all of this in shell, you need to know a lot. But here, what is it I'm trying to do? I'm trying to do very simple query language because I have objects. I don't have text. I have objects. I have objects. So, shall we do one thing? I'm interested in all the process based out of some condition, and out of which I want first five. Out of which I want first five. So, select get process, and I am interested in, let us see this. Okay. Okay. Get process. We have written this where object. What is the syntax? This will always help. Okay. Dollar underscore is the current item. Dot name. Okay. Hyphen like. Right. So any process which has name of C in it. Am I getting certain things? Right. And in this, I am interested in first five. So how will I write? Select. Right. What is the other thing? What are the fields which you want? So you can specify the fields, or you can leave it like that. And you are saying that I want first. Simple on the filtering. You can continue piping, and when you pipe, you are not sending text, you are sending objects, and everywhere you will have properties. So okay, simple. So to just check this, what I'll do is I'll just say get member over here, because member will tell me what are the properties, and I'm interested in member type, which is properties. I have all of this, and you can display any one of them. You can display any one of them. Is it not simple? Yeah. Can you tell me how to do this in shell? నిన్న అయిందిగా, ఆదివారం కదండి, కుదరలేదా? There are many people who know Linux over here. I know that in the room there are Linux admins. Can you just tell me, I want to know all the processes which are running in your system where process name has C. Okay. And I want to display only top 5 out of it. How to do that in shell? Yes. Grep. And grep, how do you grep top 5? Yes. You have to write a kind of an iterator there. If I'm not wrong, you have to write kind of an iterator there. Right. So basically, for you to do this kind of capabilities, PS should have support. PS should have support to display some sort of a regular expression and some counting based expressions. Here, am I using any property of get process to get the top 5? Then get process మీద rely అవుతున్నానా? No. So shall I do this for get service also? I am interested in getting all the services which has letter A in it, and I want to just display top 5. Make sense? So how will I do that? Very simple. First is get service, and I need to know members because I need to query on them. So I'll just say get member, and to be very specific, I'm interested in member type, which is properties. There might be more, so I'm using more. More is not required in this case. So what is that you have? You have name, you have something called as service name. right? You can use anything. So how will I write this query? First is, I'm sorry, I'm using Control L. That's why you see that character coming into play. In Windows 10, when you use Control L, it will behave like Linux. But on Windows 7 PowerShell, if you try to do that, it will not happen. Okay, clear the screen. You have to type CLS over here. If you're on Windows 10, even Control L will clear the screen. So get service, and I am interested in services. Sorry, I am interested in services. Okay, what is the convention for that service? Where dollar underscore is every record in that dot service name. Okay, like, okay, and then star a star, anywhere in a between that, and I am interested in showing only top 5. Select first 5 or 10, whatever it is. Okay, I am interested in knowing top 5 services which are stopped. Can you just tell me how to do that? Get, sorry, get service, okay, and pipe it to select, not select. Where, I'm sorry, man, I do this mess. Don't yeah. Okay, and then dollar underscore dot. See, one more thing is sometimes you might see dollar ps item, dollar ps item or dollar underscore is same whenever you're looking at scripts, because whenever PowerShell was started, dollar underscore was a convention, and later on, for the people who don't know PowerShell, underscore might look confusing. So that's why Microsoft has added that ps item. Whether you write dollar underscore or dollar ps item, I'm telling you about the same thing. All right, so dollar underscore dot service name or status, right? So let me use something called as status equals stopped, and I want to know, first let me display all, then I'll display top 5. Okay, there are many services which are stopped. All right, so how will I do that? I'll just say select first 5. So let us see if we have something called as last. In this case, I've said I want last 5. Simple, same stuff. Even for the basic method, if you don't have capability, you can still achieve by filtering the results, right? Yes. Okay, and I can display custom fields. Okay, I just want to know, okay, service name over here. I want to know service name. So what will I write? Select service name, comma, status. Anyway, we know that they are stopped. So let me say service handle, whatever it is, any member type for that matter. Okay, I'm not liking this table format. I'm not liking this table format. Do a pipe and say you will get the same stuff in a listed order. PowerShell, which was very difficult to understand, somewhat different from shell, now is it looking convenient? Yes or no? Yeah, because of these features, now PowerShell is available on Linux also. There is a PowerShell core which is available on Linux as well. Because even if you don't know the command, if you know this approach, you can work on anything. You can work on anything. So tomorrow, if I say that we have not worked on Active Directory objects, by the way, but let me tell you, I want to know 5 Active Directory users, or I want to know all the Active Directory users whose last name is something, right? Is it possible? You will have something like get AD user or whatever it is, and out of it we will have where condition, right? Even if we don't know it, what will you do? We will just say get AD objects or whatever it is, colon get member, hyphen member type properties will tell me what are the properties which I would have, and then I can go on. Anything the same case. Okay, if I would tell that just show me the network connections which are available on the system, and out of which I'm interested in selecting one network connection which has something called as Ethernet in it. So for getting all the network connection, there will be some get command, right? We will pipe that to where? From there, we'll write a select statement. Done. Simple, right? దేనికైనా వాడచ్చండి. It is not only for get service or get process. It can be for anything. Okay. So let me do one thing. I want to go to this downloads folder. I want to go to this downloads folder, and I'm interested in all the files which have an extension of .pem. Simple. I'm interested in all the files which have .pem. So to do this, if you know command prompt already, you'll be using something called as dir or ls. Basically both are same, whether you use ls or. So can I do this? You can either go to that directory or you can say basically dir, okay, type the path c colon users colon, if I'm not wrong it is del. Oh, user parenting. See, why to do all of this nonsense? I'll have this over here, right? C users quality thought and download. C users quality thought downloads. I'm getting all of this, right? And what is it I get? Will I get text or will I get object? So can I do get member? Yes. And what is it I'm interested in? Properties or methods? Properties. So hyphen member type. Yeah, many, right? So basically, now what is it I can do? Let me do this. CLS. Okay. Can I write this? Where? Object, right? Dollar underscore name. Okay. Hyphen like star dot pem. Okay. Is it very difficult to do this? But if it was in Linux, for directories I need to know one pattern. Yes, డైరెక్టరీల మీద రాయాలంటే నా అప్రోచ్ వేరేలాగా ఉంటుంది, right? If I want to search by file contents, my stuff will be in one way. If I have to search for some other thing, networking, some other stuff, here only one stuff. Get a member, come to know the properties, query out of it. Simple. Yes. Okay. And I want to get all of them, but I want some sorting order. I want some sorting order. I want to sort the files by what we'll do, length. Name anyway it is sorted by default. By default it is sorted by name, so that's why I'm not going with name. Later on we'll change the name sorting by descending order. So I want to sort and enti ordering, right? Ordering that by the sizes of file sizes, right? So I'll just say colon sort object. Okay, and then I don't know how to use sort object, right? So what is the first thing which I'll do before using this command? Get help, right? Sort object, right? And I can go directly for many examples. So colon more. So get child item colon sort object. He is sorting the object by default. That's fine. Sort object by a property called as length. Is it not what we are looking out for? Yes. So can I do this now? Colon sort object. Man, I'm sorry. This resolution is horrible. I know that. I can't help it. Right? నాకే కన్ఫ్యూజింగ్ గా ఉంది నేనేం చేస్తున్నాను. But for screens we have to go with this pain, man. I can't help it. If I change the resolution to optimal, right, you will not be able to see characters over here. Okay, I'll do this. I'll just sort object and then property. Okay, what is the property which I want to sort on? Like, if you see I'm not remembering anything, I'm using tab. I want to sort by last write time. It's okay. So older files on the top, and then if I want newer files on the top, sort object and just say I want them in the default order is ascending. If you say descending, okay, the latest pem file which I have in this is docker.pem. Yeah, simple. Okay, now I want to take last five items, and then I want to delete them. I want to get last five, and then I want to delete them. Can I do this? Okay. So first thing is let us get last five. Till here, what is it I'm getting? I'm getting a sorting order. Now I want last five. What will I do? Select. So select hyphen last five. Am I getting last five? Yes. And now I have to delete every file. So what will I do? I'll just find to get to know members now. I'll say get. If you see the query complexity has increased. Avuna? We have many pipes running over here. But is it difficult to write? Right? You can increase this complexity to whatever extent which you want. Right? So get member, and I'm giving this to more. మీకు పవర్ షెల్ తెలియకుండా చూసారనుకోండి ఏంటి ఇన్ని పైపులు పెట్టారు నీళ్ళ కంపెనీ అని ఉంది వీళ్ళకి right, but it is not difficult, man. It is the same thing. All right, if you know how to sort, how to do operations on one thing, you can apply the same logic for anything in PowerShell. All right, so now are you seeing anything? I can use the method called as delete. I can use the method called as delete, but using methods is not the way which admins are generally used to. Right, for deleting, what is that we would use? I want to know the command which helps me in deleting. Okay, how can I do that? Get command, right? It's okay. Star delete star. There is no command. Okay. Remove. Do we have something called as remove item? Yes. So how can I use remove item? I need to know examples of it. Right? So get help remove item hyphen examples colon. Okay, so what is he trying to tell? Get item, he's getting the stream, and after that he's saying remove item, and then using some sort of stream. All right, okay, whatever it is, let us come now. Okay, get item, remove item. All right, so shall we use remove item now? What is it I want to do now? I want to get last 5 pem files sorted by descending order on time, and I want to delete this. Okay, shall we reconstruct this statement? So what is the first thing? How will I get the contents of the directory? dir, yes, simple. And out of which I'm interested only in what? Pem files. So how will I tell that? Where object, right? And then, okay, there might be some where conditions where you might be seeing that where object hyphen name, all of that. Okay, you might write something like where object name and all of that. I don't want you to get used to that. I want you to get used to this, because whatever dollar syntax which I'm trying to show will work for every condition. But if I'm using some fixed properties, they might not work out in all the cases. So what will you do? Where this dollar underscore is every item dot name has something called as star dot. Okay, and then what is it I want to do? I want to sort these objects by what? Time. So sort object property last write time. Okay, and then basically give it to select object. Oh, man, I'm sorry, I should not have pressed select last 5. Okay, colon, what are the stuff? Remove item. Let me just run this query again. Okay, so I'll not say last step. Okay, ఏదో మిస్ చేశాను ఇక్కడ. Yes, I don't want a sort object. Let me see, are the files reduced? Yes or no? Previously we had more pem files. Are the files deleted? Yes. Now if I say that I want to delete all the files, okay, which are older than particular date, can I do that? So what will you do? First get the files, and then you'll write a where condition where you match dates, all the files which are older than this date. How will you get that? Google it. You will have less than symbol itself, minus lt itself. You will be giving a date, colon, remove it, colon, remove it. Fine. Yes. So if you are writing any logic, if you follow this pattern of really writing PowerShell, it is very simple, right? Now in this directory I want to know all the files, right? And basically I want to know file sizes. I want to know file sizes. Okay, statistics. I will not say file sizes, I'll say statistics, right? So how will I come to know those statistics? Let us see. Till now what is it we have seen? Select, where, sort. 3 things, right? Select, where, and sort. Okay, now I'll use dir itself. By the way, dir is equivalent to get child item. Yeah, getting this. Okay, and then whatever I get from here, I want all the statistics. So I'll say measure object, but I don't know how to use measure object. So what will I do? Get help measure, measure object hyphen examples. You can go hyphen online also if you want a detailed description. So colon more. So it says get child data measure object. It will tell you some stuff. But if you want to measure by certain property, you can just tell I'm interested in the property which is length, which is length. Shall we do this? Okay, wonderful. So dir, okay. In Windows, whenever you are copying paths, have a habit of putting them in double quotes. ఆ అలవాటు ఉంటే జరిగే if you have that habit, the benefit out of it is sometimes your folders might have spaces within it. అవును కదా? Whenever we create a folder, we might create a folder saying that new space folder. So if you don't put quotes, then PowerShell might show that as an error because one part of string is over and it is trying to see it as a second argument. But if you have a habit of putting your folder paths always in quotes, whether they have spaces or whether they don't have spaces, you will never see problems, right? So whenever you are copying paths, always put them in quotes. Okay, so dir, and what is it I'm interested in? I'm interested in measuring object, and the property which I want to use for measuring this object is it says that this is what you have, right? But if I want, I can measure this by any numeric value. Measure item can be done only by numeric values, ante kada? Where will you get sum, where will you get average, where will you get all of this? You will get only by types. So there, if I want to know many other things, what is the best thing to do? Get member, right? And then hyphen, what is it? Member type properties. So basically you have length. Let me come now. For files it is okay, but for directories, yes. So whenever you are LSing it or whenever you are listing the items of it, you get two kinds of items. One is folder, the other one is file. The other one is file. So what will you do to display only files? What can I do? Okay, let us see. dir, okay, this colon where, okay, what do we write? Dollar underscore dot, are you seeing anything called as type? Okay, like or contains, whatever it is, file. Let me see what happens with this query. Am I getting anything? No. Okay, fine. Let me just say select first 5. So for some of the attributes, you are seeing the length as nothing. You don't have length because what are they? They are folders. They are not files. So there should be something which will tell you what is basically the folder or a directory. Okay. Is there anything which can tell that in this fields? Mode? Yes. So can I use this get member? Are you seeing anything called as mode over here? Yes. Okay. Okay. Fine. So let me write this. I'll not say select now. I'll say where dollar underscore dot mode. Okay, fine. I'll say like. I'm not sure whether it will work or not, but it's okay. We'll try. This stuff. Okay. For files, what is that we would have? Let us see that. We'll have something called as A or whatever pattern it is. Okay. So where mode not like D star will give me files, right? Okay. మాకు తెలియకపోతే ఇలాంటివి కూడా చేయొచ్చుగా డైరెక్టరీ కాందల్లా ఫోల్డర్ అని అజ్యూమ్ చేసుకున్నాం. These are files. Fine. And out of which I want to do statistics now. So can I do this? Colon measure object, and I want to measure object based out of one property which is, so I have 135 stuffs, but still there is some problem, which means that there is some more areas. You have to narrow it down. You have to narrow it down your searches. So now before displaying this, I'll not measure the object. I'll say just this. Okay. So basically I have all of them. Okay. Fine. So whenever you're trying to do anything, it is not very difficult stuff. You just need to filter out your results. You need to filter out your results. And for identifying anything, there is something logical. I have not used any rocket science over here. If you basically query, how do I know files? There will be a command line argument in dir itself. List me all the files. But I am not going to that extent. I'm just trying to tell you that with filtering, sorting, right, and selecting the objects, even if you don't know any properties of that command, you can still do the job. Okay. How will I be able to delete all the files in the folder? You know what it is. Pipe it and give it to remove item. Done. Yes. Looking easy? Yeah. Fine. Now let me just say this. Okay. I want to go to the D drive. Okay. And I want to create the folder. I want to create the folder, and in that folder I want to download 2 files from internet. I want to download 2 files from internet which are zip files, and I want to unzip them. Ante. So can you tell me the thought process? You have to create a directory, okay, in D drive, download 2 files from internet, right, and you have to unzip them. So here you have many things. This is a point where you start writing scripts. This is a point where you start writing script. Is no wonder, rather than writing one command in the PowerShell, okay, which we execute directly in the terminal, we are writing all of this in one file, and that file we call it as PowerShell file. Shell file has an extension of .sh, and PowerShell will have an extension of .ps1. Now what is it I wanted? I wanted to create a directory, and for writing all of this, what is the editor? We have started that on by debugging on the day 1. What is that? PowerShell ISC. I'll run it as an administrator. Okay. Let me save this file and give some name to it. So let me call it as first.ps1. Yes. So what is it I want? I want to create a directory. Okay. So to create a directory, what is that we would be using? Make dir, right? And let us call it as D drive : from PS. Okay, good. Now you have written till this point. Now you want to understand whether this is happening or not. Okay, are you seeing the play button over here? Just click this. Okay, you can go to the D drive. Okay, are you seeing anything called as from PS? Okay, from PS is already present. I run this. What is happening? Yeah, I'm getting an error. So in the script, is it okay if I get an error? So I should stop from doing this. How will I stop from doing this? How will I stop this? You need to check for a condition before you do this. You need to check for a condition before you do this. So how will I come to know whether there is already a file or a directory over there or not? This should be executed only when the directory is not present, right? Yes. So can I do this? Get or dir d dollar. Yes. This will give me r, and out of which I am trying to tell where object. Yeah. I'm just using the same knowledge, but there is other way around. There is a very easier way around. I'll come back to that. But I'm just applying the same knowledge whatever we have done. So where object, what is that we would be writing? Dollar underscore dot name, okay, equals from PS. Okay, fine. Okay, this will get you the stuff. And now whenever this command returns you something, okay, if the value is not null, you will execute that. If the value is null, you will not, if the value is null, you will not execute it, or else you will execute it. Or the other way is, okay, dir, okay, what was the directory? D colon, okay, okay, oh, so let me do this one. Get item D colon from PS. Am I getting this? Something? Yes. And in this, I'll check if there is anything which will tell me some help around it. So how will I do that? Get member. Okay. If I do get item, okay. So let me do get item of something. Get item, okay, of D colon, don't know. I don't have a folder called as this. So what will you get? You are getting an exception. So you can also do this. You will just say get item, and then you would say that you will pass the directory name. If the directory is already existing, you will get some condition, or else you will basically go by this exception had. Or the other way in PowerShell, which we will never use, but if you are a developer which you can already use this, you can directly write .NET code. You can directly write .NET code, right? So for example, in .NET there is a method called as directory.exists. You can use it. Okay, so PowerShell supports many ways of writing the same stuff. If you have shown, just now we have explored 3 ways, which will work, which will fail, secondary story. But for solving a problem, there is no one single way, right? The best part of PowerShell is, if nothing is working, you can go to your dev and say your problem statement, C# code will work. C# code will work. Simple? Yes. So there is something called as directory.exists. Or as usual, for normal things you don't need to do all of that. Okay, directory exists You'll have basic scripts for all of this, right? So what is he trying to tell? He's just trying to tell get folder path, and then there are many ways. I'm not saying that this is the only way. You just scroll down, you would see many other stuffs. Other easier way, what he's trying to tell is create the directory and put force. Then your command will not fail. Force ante enti? Create chese. Okay? Unna create che, lekmana create. That is an admin's approach. But if you are a developer, you can use the other approaches also. Okay? And then if you are seeing see new item, error action is ignore. If the directory is already existing, ignore it safely. I'm okay with that. And then give the path. Are you seeing that there is no single solution for anything? There are multiple solutions. But whenever you are putting anything into file, put whatever that you understand. If you are from dev background, you can basically write the .NET code over here. System.io.directory.exists. Done. If you are not from that background, okay, most of us are not from that background. So then we'll be using something like this. We'll be using something like this. So what will I do in this case? So for me, this makes more sense. Dir force, right? So let me go over here. Make dir. Done. As an administrator, I don't want to get into if condition. I would say that even if it is present, it's okay for me. Let me run this now. Okay. Simple? Yeah. So don't expect that you whatever PowerShells, or even that this is the same case for shell scripting also. If you and me write the same shell script for achieving the same thing, your script and my script might not sound the same. This is the biggest drawback which we are going to uncover when we go to Chef or Ansible. But as of now, whenever you are solving a problem, there are more than one ways of solving it. If you are from dev background, you can write all sorts of if and else conditions and then get it one. Or else, easiest thing is either ignore the error or say I want to create it every time. I want to create it every time by using force. Making sense? Right? Okay. Or else, one other way which you generally do is do ls grep, and if it is already present based out of your regular expression pattern, you can do all of that. But I don't want to do too much of grepping by text, because the whole strength of PowerShell is by objects. Whole strength of PowerShell is by objects, right? Okay. So I've just done this, and then I have to download. What? 2 files. Okay. So let me go to my history and see if I have some zip files over here. I'll take questions, guys. Let me just finish this part. Uh, Let me do one thing. Let me download 2 WAR files. I can't unzip right now. I don't have any zip files over here, but you can do the zip. I'll take this path. So what is it? Invoke web request. We have done this yesterday. URI, and the URI was this, and hyphen out file, and out file is D drive colon from PS. If you see it, it starts helping you. And open mrs dot war. Fine. Good. Next, invoke web request hyphen URI, and now I'll be taking the other URL, whatever URL that makes sense to you. Okay. So shall I take this Jenkins? Yes. Copy link address. Okay. And then I would be saying out file D drive colon from PS slash, okay, what is it? Jenkins dot war. Now let me save this file, run this. It will take time because it has to download the stuff. That's it. Is this editor helping? It will help you while writing the script. You can execute it from here. You can test from here. Everything going good, go and deploy your script. Otherwise, just leave it. So if you see, it is just trying to tell you, reading the response. Yeah, whatever it is, whatever it does. So whenever you can't do all of the stuff by one statement, you start writing scripts. You start writing scripts, and in the scripts you can use if conditions, you can use while, you can use for, anything and everything. Anything and everything. Make sense, right? Okay. Now what I have to do is, the war files which I have downloaded from here, I need to copy to some other folder and then start the service. What is it I have to do? I need to copy that to some other folder, then I have to start the service. Can I do that? Yes. And after that, you would be CP source location to the destination location, and after that I have to start the service. So for that we have anyway command called as, what is the command? How will you check that? So I'll say get command, okay, star hyphen, sorry, service. So all of this. So what can I use? None. So by the way, that is the deployment which I am trying to tell you. Tomorrow when you go to the IAS deployments, you will have a zip file, you will unzip it, you will put it in some folder, and then you might need to start or restart some service, and suddenly your IAS server will start working on something. But if I tell in that way, it would look complicated. But now, is it making sense? I can start any Windows service, right? I find out what are the network connections in the user if I know what is the commandlet? Yeah. Can I filter them? Yes. That's all about it. We can sort, we can filter, you can basically, there is one more thing called as group. You can group. Generally we don't group, but you can. Okay. So for example, you can do this: get service colon group object. Okay. See what happens. You would suddenly see the properties which are grouped. Okay. Fine. This is called as a group. And now let me not do it for get service. Let me use the same command for get process, because in the process we might have same names, right? So get process pipe group object hyphen property, and I'm interested in name. So if you see, I am seeing SVC host, and there are 12 processes with that, right? And now I come to Chrome, and I'm seeing 14 processes with that. Now I want to run, I want to know in my system all the processes, okay, where the count is greater than 0, where the count is greater than 1, which have multiple processes running on the same system. Can I do that? Yes. So how will I do that? So get process, and the next thing is UZ group object, and I want to group the object by name, and after that I want to know what are the members that are available at this point. Get member, and I'm interested in member types, which is properties. Are you seeing a member type called as count? Will it help us? Yes. So can I write this? Get process group object, and I want to group the object by property, which is name, and then what is it I want to do? I am interested in the properties where count is. So can I use this where object curly braces dollar underscore dot count it's okay, dollar underscore dot count greater than 1. Simple. Yeah, anything you think of, you can write something like this. Any value, you try this. This is very simple. You have to just basically visualize it. So whenever you are filtering results, what are the different options which we have? We have where, we have select, we have sort, we have measure, and we have group. ఈ ఐదు కన్నా అద్భుతమైన పవర్ షెల్ ఏది ఉండదు. If you want, you can just go through any PowerShell script now. Okay, either they might use C sharp, which is out of the syllabus for us. I'm not getting into that, right? Because in PowerShell directly .NET code is supported. Okay, and you and me are never going to write code which looks like that. And the secondary case is using something like this. And whenever you use something like this, the other cases might be your where object conditions, right? There might be using $ps item, or they might write the same where object in a different way. That's a different story. You can easily Google it out. But anything or everything, are we able to get some results? Yeah. And by the way, the best part is it is not difficult. The work which I'm doing is always the same. Whenever I want to use anything, I'll use get command, get member, and whenever I want to filter, members are important. Whenever I want to execute the command, commands are important. Right? So now when you write all of that in a file one by one, that becomes a script. That becomes a script. That's it. Right? Okay. I'll not be doing this, but to this file, the only thing which I'm going to do is I am going to parameterize this file. As of now, everything is hard coded. I will give you this code, and in your system there is no D drive. Will this work? No. So why do I have to take that risk? So let me create arguments for this. Let me create arguments for this, where my PowerShell file will take input from you. You have to enter the input, and the same thing happens. Then the folder is your choice, URL is your choice, service is your choice. That is parameterizing your file. Let us do that as a last item in tomorrow's class, and then let us see how it goes through, because I want to take questions. Okay, I still have 8 minutes. I can complete this, but I don't want to do that. Let me take questions. Okay, if you have this understanding, okay, now let me tell you, we have not worked on this, but let me tell you this question. I want you to access all the users in the Active Directory. Okay, and I want you to list out, basically the users who have joined before some date. Can we do that? For getting Active Directory users, there will be some get AD user or some command like that. And after that, what will you do? We'll just pipe get member. Then we'll come to know some properties out of it. If there is some joining date in there, so we'll be saying get whatever AD method is colon where dollar, the curly braces, dollar underscore dot joining date or whatever date, okay, less than or greater than some date, some year. Okay, that's it. For anything, the same stuff. Fine. Yes, looking good. Yes. Okay, and we read event logs, right? Logs, event logs. Okay, let us see if there are some commands for logs. You will have, obviously you will have. So I'll get that, get command. Tell me, you have to tell me. I have forgot for PowerShell already. మీకు చెప్పేశాను కదా, నేను మర్చిపోయాను. Star. Okay, event. Okay, let me remove this hyphen also. Why to have this? Are you seeing anything called as get event log? Yes. So how do I use get event log? How will I come to know? Get help get event log examples, and then I'll give it to yes. So can I do this now? Get oh man, event log hyphen right? So can I find all the event logs based out of some conditions now, right? How to know all the logs from this? How to out all the stuff from this? Get member colon member type properties. So if you see, those are the main logs: application logs, system logs, error logs, all of that, right? You are interested only in displaying some details called as application log. So then you will be just saying where application log is this. Fine. Anything approach on Marisna, we are going into different areas. Now let us assume that I want you to find out all the printers that are installed on your system, and I'm interested in a printer which has certain property. Can we do that? Yes. So what will I do? I'll just say get help printer star printer star. That will give me some command, and then I'll do get member. That will tell me how can I filter it. That's it. That's it for anything. That's it for anything. Fine. Good. Looking good. Raigalma on the script. Yes. Okay. Wonderful. Now let me look at questions. How to remember all these commands? By the way, in PowerShell, the only command which I remember is tab. There is no need for you to remember anything. Okay. So from yesterday, what is that we are trying to remember? The methods which you remember is get command, get help, get member. Okay. And then we have added some more commands to this list today, which was where object, select object, sort object, right? Measure object, and group object. Measure and group you will never use. So totally 6 commands is enough for you for the survival of PowerShell. Rest of all we know. Dir anna command మనం బాల్యం నుండి వాడుతున్నాం, right? It is not new one. There is dir ls, whatever you remember. You can use ls also. If you don't like using dir, you can use ls and give the folder path, right? Because ls is already an alias for dir. You can do the same. Okay. I don't think so. Commands, remembering commands, you don't need to remember too many commands in PowerShell. But if it is in shell, you have to remember a lot, right? For getting network, ping, IP config, all of that. Here, no. Just get command and just choose something called as ping and find out if there is something called as ping command. That's it, right? The way you will memorize these commands is if you start using a lot. So for example, invoke web request. From today onwards, whenever you are downloading any file, if you use that command, there is no need for you to remember that. That will become muscle memory. You will just come to know about that command. That's it. That's how you remember it, right? Okay. Does the result of the command stores anywhere like successful or unsuccessful? Stores like unsuccessful commands will get error messages. Unsuccessful commands will have error messages, and generally in the scripting world we call it as error code. In the scripting world we will call it as error code. Okay, that's the success of or a failure of a message, right? Are we good? Yes. And by the way, our script has done some work. Yeah, you can track that written codes. Okay, you can use. I'll come back to that. I'll come back to that. Just a moment. It has downloaded. All right. Okay. So, for example, whenever you are executing any command, what you can do is a variable is dollar, right? Yes. Dollar return or whatever command, dollar result underscore download is equal to, and then write invoke web request. Okay. In that dollar result, you will have what has happened with that command. What has happened with that command? Okay. Based out of that, you can query it. So every command return can be stored in a variable, and later on you can use that variable for processing the secondary statements. That's how you do it. Good. Any other commands in the room? Any other queries? How do you know? That's a written code part. And invoke web request, execute that command, pipe, get member. In that members, you will have success codes. Use that to track. Same approach. Approach doesn't change. Every command, whenever you want to track something, execute that command, pipe, get member. The result will be in the member, and in that there will be a state. Okay, based out of it you can do it. That's how you do it. Yeah, fine, looking good. Yes, suddenly PowerShell has started looking like, yeah, something which I can give it a try. It is not much difficult. Yes or no? Yes. Okay, fine, thanks. And tomorrow we'll be starting PowerShell DSC. Right, for that I need an environmental setup. Let me see how quickly can I transfer it back to you. I'm searching for some documentations or some easier script so that you can have that environment quickly. Let me find it out. Fine, thanks guys, thanks for your time. Let us meet tomorrow. Yeah, do we have different commands for writing desired state configuration? Yeah, we that will find it out tomorrow. Today we are happy with PowerShell, right? We will take the pain of DSC tomorrow.